In Hong Kong, the McDonald's, it looks like what it looks like in the advertisement. But then like you go to the American ones, it feels more greasy, more fried.
The burgers are smelly.
My cousin was like into WWF. What is this? I was like fascinated by it. Christmas, 7 a.m. And there was like gifts everywhere. And I was like, what? The first impression, that's everything. We call the American borns ABC, and then we call the immigrants FOBs, fresh off the boat. You're not really both.
Welcome to Interviews with Immigrants, the podcast where we celebrate the positive side of immigration by cutting through the politics and sharing the real stories, the heart, the humor, and the humanity behind every journey. I'm your host, Andrea Szew, immigration attorney, storyteller, and the face behind the YouTube channel Szew Law Group that helps thousands navigate the U.S. immigration system every month. But this show isn't about forms, immigration laws, and policies. It's about food, fashion, funny stories, and fearless reinvention that defines the immigrant experience. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Leo Chan, a Hong Kong-born, Queens-raised creative who swapped his Wall Street job for a passport, a camera, and a killer sense of style. He's the founder of Levitate Style, a fashion and lifestyle brand that's redefined Asian masculinity and immigrant identity in media. We'll talk about growing up between cultures, what it's like to pivot from finance to fashion, how immigrants can own their own stories on their own terms, and yes, we'll dive into identity, family traditions, and favorite dishes. In fact, I'll be trying a classic Chinese food I've somehow never had before, and let's just say it has way more toes than I expected. Let's get into it. So Leo, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited that you're finally coming on Interviews with Immigrants. I know we're going to get to your journey from Hong Kong to the US and your twist from finance to fashion. But before we get to all that, I want to go back to the beginning, like the very beginning, the 10-year-old boy in Hong Kong that's headed now to the US. So take me back there. What was your feelings? What was your parents' feelings? What was the reason that you came here?
Okay. The first memory thinking back when I was that young was like, my parents just telling me like, hey, you got to start saying goodbye to your friends, like start packing things up, like kind of really starting this process of moving. And then when you're that young, you're like, I don't know what that means. Like, I guess we're moving somewhere. Like, what does that even mean to be on a long flight, right?
Yeah.
Let alone moving to a new country. I remember specifically my parents were like, well, you got to pick an American name. And
Leo is not your Chinese name?
Leo's not my Chinese
I don't
name.
think so.
It's not my legal name either.
So how did you get Leo?
The funny thing was, my parents initially had picked out a name for me, but I was like, "What is that? I've never heard of that before." Like, I don't.
What
That's
was
not
the
a popular
name?
name. They were gonna name me Ernest,
Ooh.
which even now is like, I don't think you ever heard that.
And as a 10-year-old boy, you're probably like,
I'm like,
Ernest?
I have never seen that on a name dictionary anywhere. I haven't seen it in TV or anything. But and then over the years, I asked them. They wanted to name me after this cargo ship that my dad used to work on.
Okay.
So that was like, I was like, okay, all right, that's
So
cool.
it was romantic. It
Yeah,
was a
it was
romantic
nice.
name.
I get it, but I was like, no. So I actually picked my name Leo from like a comic book character. At the time, I was just really into comic books, like most kids are into video games. And one of the main character in Resident Evil, he's like the main cop, this officer. His name was Leon. So I actually picked my name Leon first. So then I went with that. But I remember picking my name. I remember just like packing up all my favorite toys and things that we could have. And I also remember we each had like two giant like bags that we can carry. Like it was like two like giant like denim duffel bags. It was like just as tall as I am. It was just like you can stuff as much as you want, and then we like put a lock on it.
And since it's an Interviews with Immigrants, how did you immigrate? Do you know? Was it someone sponsored you, a family member sponsored you to come over?
So it was my dad's side, my aunt that sponsored us.
Okay.
The way I understood it is we had a visa that we had like a 10-year window. And that was actually around the time I was first born. So we first moved to New York City, and we moved to Queens, which is just the most
Immigrant
diverse
Central.
place.
Immigrant Central.
Probably the most diverse place in the world, if not at least
Right.
America, right?
Mhm.
And so in Queens, we lived all over. But first, we moved to Corona, Jackson Heights area in Queens.
Uh-huh.
It was more of a Hispanic area.
Mhm.
So when we first moved, we lived at my aunt and uncle's place. It was
Mhm.
a small townhouse. And then all of a sudden they had five more people in the house, right? So it was crammed. Like I remember like just sleeping in the living room and
Right.
kind of just getting our footing. And that first week, first month, it was more like just settling in. My parents finding an apartment to rent.
And do you remember I always ask him, do you remember the first food you had, like Americanish food that you were like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?"
First ever American food.
Or first food that kinda shocked you that this is not Hong Kong
I
anymore?
feel like I feel like the first food it's McDonald's.
You had
Like
McDonald's?
we have McDonald's in Hong Kong, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's like
I noticed that,
very
McDonald's is
different.
different everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
whenever we
yeah.
go it's not like I go to McDonald's everywhere I go, but
Right.
some countries I've gone to, and I have to say, sorry, McDonald's. Wherever you are, McDonald's, sorry, but it's
Yeah.
not as good as
consistency
it
is
Yeah,
different.
it's different.
Yeah.
It's better. It's
Uh-huh.
better
Oh
than
yeah.
it is here.
In Hong Kong, the McDonald's like growing up, I remember it's like it looks like what it looks like in the advertisement.
Uh-huh.
It smells different. But then like you go to the American ones, it's just it's different.
Yeah.
It feels more greasy, more
Yeah.
fried.
Yeah, the burgers are smaller.
Yeah. But I do remember the childhood memory of like we just go to McDonald's all the time because I think that was also around the time when they were really pumping out like the $1 menu, the value menu. It was
Yeah.
like the $1 McChicken. So it was just like something that my dad always just
Yeah.
took us to because it was like something to do.
Mhm.
But I remember that as kind of like I guess the first American food off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I also remember just like living in my aunt's house. Like this was also like the aunt and uncle that like I never met.
Mhm.
So it wasn't just like, oh, you moved to America, it's a new country. No, it's like the whole new side of the family I've never met.
Right.
Like my dad's side of the
Strangers,
family.
I mean.
In that way. It's like, hey, here's your aunt. Here's your grown cousin. It's like, oh, hi.
So they were much older than you?
Yeah. So there was definitely like a bigger age gap. But yeah, that was kind of like the first memory moving here. And I remember it was just like a whole new world, right? Like my cousin was like into WWF at the time, like
Oh,
wrestling.
wow.
That we didn't have that in Hong Kong.
Mhm.
So for me, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like I was like fascinated by it.
I'm sure you were.
Like as a kid, right? Like
Yeah.
because you're watching it like it's entertainment, like a sport,
Yeah.
but you're just like they're just fighting. Like, is this a movie?
And
What is
everyone's
this?
there and everyone's watching. What's going on?
So I got really into WWF. I think that was like one big like cultural thing, like right away. I was like, oh, WWF, and like,
Did your parents think that's really violent? He shouldn't be watching that.
yeah, I think there's times where they're like, okay, maybe like don't watch it so much, like don't get so into because the next thing you know, like
Yeah.
the second the show's over, I'm trying to practice my moves on my brother, and
And
they're
your
just like,
brother's
hey,
younger than you.
yeah, my brother is 3 years younger, and it's just in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna recreate that whole 2-hour TV taping, all the moves on my brother.
What an impression, right? 10-year-old boy arrives from Hong Kong and watches WWF.
They start doing WWF, yeah.
That's an interesting
Yeah,
one.
next thing you know, I'm not just like, oh, I don't want like the latest Pokemon or I don't want like the latest like Transformer. I want like The Rock. I want The Undertaker. I want Stone Cold. It's just like, what is this?
That's great.
So that's
I've
a
never
little
heard that
different.
before, so that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah.
I know in Hong Kong, there is an English component. It's not
Mhm.
like only
Right.
no English. So how much English did you know when you came here?
hmm
And then how did you pick up English? Because obviously you speak very good
Right.
English.
Like they taught English in Hong Kong since elementary school,
Mhm.
but it was more like how you learn a different language in America. Like you're learning Spanish. So you kind of like just learn it, but like by written, like you don't really speak it. So there's
Yeah.
not enough practice to like
Yeah.
actually speak it. And then just going around Hong Kong, there's always like even in the subways, there's two speakers. So they're saying the Chinese stop and they're saying in English. So there's always like the two languages is just always around Hong Kong.
Mhm.
But like you don't really speak it. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of background.
Right.
And again, like you learn it as like a second language in Hong Kong. It's
Yeah.
just something that you learn. You like I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm gonna use this.
Right.
And then
Right.
you come to America, it's like it's flipped. So I remember first just like being in school, I kid you not, like homework and reading, especially like English class where they always have kids read books. It was just like I had to translate every single word. Like one page took forever. It just
Yeah.
felt like one page took an hour. And the memories. I remember me and my mom literally with a dictionary just translating every single
Wow.
word on the page. Like the entire page was just translated. So that was rough.
But you were in English as a second language classes with
Yeah.
other kids that spoke not just Cantonese, but
Right.
lots of
So
languages.
I was also in ESL,
Mhm.
which I did that until I think like 7th or 8th grade.
You
So
were
it was
there a
like
long
like
time.
like the first few years. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, like that definitely helped. Just being with other immigrants in the room that didn't really speak the language.
Mhm.
And again, I think the cool part about growing up in New York City is that it was immigrants from all over the place.
Right,
It wasn't just Chinese, it wasn't
right.
just Asians, it was people from Russia, people from Europe that I was like, what are those names? Like I've never heard that name before. And it was
Right.
just really cool to like learn about the world in that scale. Like in one classroom, you just had people from all over the world and we're all learning English together.
Which is fascinating because it's like there's people that say that in the US we don't teach enough about world. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? About like everything outside the United States, about different cultures, about different people. But the interesting thing is like you have a kid coming from Hong Kong,
Hmm.
dropped into the US school system, and he's surrounded basically by the world,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because all these kids from, like you said, Russia, in Latin America,
Hmm.
South America, Eastern, I mean, all over the place. And it's like you learn from each other innocently, which is a
Hmm.
better education than what you would learn in a book,
Yeah, I think
which is
that's really
amazing.
cool because like that was really my first experience to the world in that
Right?
sense.
Because in Hong Kong, was it very diverse?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. Well, especially like being born and raised in Hong Kong. I'm sure like I've heard from other friends that grew up in like international schools. That's
Yeah.
a little different.
No, but like
Yeah.
Hong Kong
Oh
itself.
no, it's all Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a very interesting thing to land in an environment like that. So that must have been
Hmm.
fascinating. And then did you learn other languages too while you were learning English because of your friends?
I tried, like,
But no.
because by the time I got to high school, my English was good enough. I'm not
Right.
in ESL anymore. But that's when they're like, "Hey, well, you gotta pick a second language,"
Yeah.
and I struggle. I sucked at Spanish.
But you chose Spanish?
Well, it just felt like that was like the
The
like
right thing to do.
the more popular option. Everyone was kind of
Mhm.
taking Spanish. It seemed similar
It's
enough
funny
to
because now
English.
everyone's saying you should take Cantonese.
Right.
The other way around,
It's
like
the
you need to take
opposite.
Chinese. Yeah.
Oh, imagine the internal struggles I had
Yeah.
to deal with
Yeah.
growing up. It's like, forget Chinese, learn English. And then now it's like everyone's trying to learn Chinese, and you're like,
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah.
God, I
Well,
can't,
what
can't
a
keep up.
what a blessing that is, right? It's like it was like inbred.
Yeah.
And you still obviously speak to your family in
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yeah. So with my parents mostly, that's when I get to speak Chinese. And I try to indulge in that too. When I'm visiting them and I spend time with them, I'm like, okay, let me get in my reps. Let me practice and
Mhm.
like, or else I'm scared to lose it too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, you won't lose it. You won't lose it. So teenage years.
Hmm.
Boy from Hong Kong
Yeah.
grows up in New York.
Yeah.
Teenage years. How did your parents and like how did they deal with some of those probably situations that they probably didn't want to deal with?
Yeah. Okay. So I would first, yeah, those are interesting years for sure. I think,
They're interesting even when you're not an immigrant. So I'm
yeah,
sure.
that's true. So I think like first was like, I think growing up in New York City, and then I think the biggest culture in like right before high school as a teenager was like it's not just like you're in certain communities and you're in elementary school, junior high school, but also like now you're for me, I was like, okay, well, I'm an immigrant, but then there are American born Chinese, American born Asians. And like
Yes.
we have I don't know if you know these acronyms.
Probably
We call
not.
them ABCs,
No, I didn't know that.
American born Chinese.
Oh, I didn't know that.
ABCs. So that's like the easiest thing. Like we call the American borns ABC, and then we call the immigrants FOBs, fresh off the boat.
I think I heard that one before,
Yeah.
but
So, but it
and
was like
was that like a derogatory thing? Did people get annoyed when you're like, "Oh, you're an ABC," or "He's an ABC"?
in a way, but it was like it wasn't even
Hmm.
like a big. It wasn't like adults weren't calling each other that. It was like the kids were calling
Right,
each other that.
right.
And so, like for me, like trying to grow up and like fit in, you get to different, and also we started moving to different neighborhoods. Like it was almost like every year we moved to a different school, a different neighborhood. Just, my parents are like, okay, oh, there's better school. There's better neighborhoods and better school districts. So like every year we moved. So in like 5 years, I was in 4 different schools. So like just even growing up, making friends, having finally making friends in one elementary school, and then it's like, well, goodbye, going
Yeah,
to
that's
another
hard.
one, and
That's
then you got
very
to make
hard.
friends again, and then now we're getting to a little bit nicer neighborhood, and now I'm dealing with the ABCs, and it's like we look the same, but we're not. You're not including me.
So there's a lot of like, I don't like using the word discrimination. There's a lot of like separation
Yeah,
between
and so
the two.
not only as an immigrant from the rest of America, but also within
Your
the
own
same
community.
race,
Yeah.
it was like, and I get it too. Like thinking back, it's like it's different culture. Like we have different mindsets. Like I'm still learning English,
Mm-hmm.
and so for them, it's just they look. We all looked at each other differently. So the
Yeah.
ABCs and the FOBs.
That's really interesting. I
Yeah,
never heard that.
and then coming from the parents' perspective, they're thinking like, well, look at them. Look at how well they're doing in school. It's the joke about immigrant parents going like, "Oh, look at your cousin. Look at these grades and look at the job." And it's just like, I think growing up, that was the constant like pressure, at least in the back of my mind, that like you got to do well in school. You got to, that's your whole life. That's your goal. And then, that's the whole point we moved to America, was to have a brighter future for the better school system. So
Right.
it's just like there was a lot of pressure on academics in school. And then in New York City, my mom found out that like there's specialized high schools. And so in New York at the time, there was like a big three, like top three high schools. And it was Stuyvesant, Bronsteins, and Brooklyn Tech. And once my mom found out,
Oh, you
you
gotta
gotta
go the
get
best.
you gotta get into one of those specialized high
Yeah.
school, they have a higher chance of getting into a good college. So I remember like my summers was just like summer school. Like after school was more school. It was just like math tutor and just so many like different courses, like tutoring courses and things like that. So it was like school on top of school on school.
Well, did you have any fun in high school? Any partying, anything going on that your parents had to deal with? Or was it mostly academic and focus, and that's what kept you away? Did you play sports?
Oh yeah. So in high school, I started to really get into basketball.
Mhm.
That was really my way to kind of then to really fit in with
Mhm.
the rest of the crowd. So I really got into basketball, and then in that I really got into street fashion because that was a big part of the NBA culture. And then that was also a big part of what school was like. You want to wear the coolest
You wanna be cool,
clothes
you
and
wanna fit
like
in.
the latest sneakers.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into like the sneakers world. And like there was no crazy partying, but like that was the kind of like that kind of American culture that I was really going into instead. So I was like getting really burned out from all the expectations and school and all that. And like I started hanging out with different crowds, and it was all about playing
Right.
basketball and just hanging out and dressing well for school.
Right. Right.
But I remember like one of the big fights I had with my mom was I finally saved up enough money to buy my first pair of Jordans.
Mhm.
And I was so excited. It was like so cool, so dope. Like I got it. It was the latest thing. Everyone's gonna love it. Everyone's gonna be jealous. And like I brought it home. And like but I also knew that my mom wouldn't really approve of it. Because from the Asian culture, they're all about saving money. They're all about being survival, right? Like saving money, like only buying stuff on discount or secondhand. Like I grew up with so
Well,
much
that's not just the
secondhand
Asian
stuff.
community.
Right.
I can name a few other communities.
Sure, for sure.
But yes.
But just like growing up with that, like it's all about saving money and like not spending, like you don't buy things full price. Like that was just not a thing.
Mhm.
And so for me to then, on the other hand, the opposite of like, I'm saving all this money to buy this pair of sneaker that's like so expensive. And I remember like telling my mom like half the price that it was. And my mom still flipped out on me. She was like, why would you spend so much money on this? Like, why don't wear it yet? Just have a think about it. And I just couldn't believe that I had to like hold this back, and I had to lie to her and tell her it was half the price it was. I told her it was $80. I spent $160 for a high school kid way
That's a
back. It was a
lot.
lot of
Yeah.
money.
Well, that brings me to a really interesting thing that I want to talk to you about. It's called third culture kids.
Yeah.
But for the viewers and for the people listening, let me just define what it is, because Honestly, when I heard it the first time, I didn't know what it was. But let me just read it. So,
Yeah.
individuals who spend a significant part of their childhood growing up in a culture different from their parents or their own country of citizenship. This unique upbringing shapes their identity, often leading to a sense of belonging to multiple cultures, or conversely, a feeling of being from everywhere and nowhere.
Mm.
So, when you talk like this, it's like it
Mhm.
makes me realize because, like you said, the ABCs that you mentioned,
Mhm.
they don't have that really so
Mhm.
much because you have a memory of Hong Kong,
Mhm.
a clear memory of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
You live with your parents that clearly are still from Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
And have a home probably that is very similar to Hong Kong
Mhm.
in their traditions and what they do.
Mhm.
But you're an American kid now. I mean,
Mhm.
you've spent so much time in the US or
Yeah.
you're trying to acclimate, trying to fit in.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to you, like a third culture kid? Like, is it frustration? Is it
It's I think the third culture is probably the best way to explain it because it's like you're not really both, right? Like
never, right? You
you're
never feel, do
yeah,
you? Do you feel American?
I feel very American now.
You do.
Yeah, and I think it's because again over the years I'm such a sponge in that way of just like absorbing and learning from others and learning from so many different cultures that like I have such a strong sense of appreciation for everyone.
It's a fascinating idea, and there's millions of people in the US
Mhm.
that fit that
Mhm.
particular category, and I'm always fascinated, and honestly, I've been doing immigration law for over 20 years, and I've never heard the phrase, which is
Mm.
weirded me out to begin with. So I looked it up and I started thinking about it. I'm like, wow, it's interesting, the whole idea of this third culture kid, this whole group of people that have this
Mhm.
completely different identity because of when they came to the US, because of who their parents are, because of where they're trying to fit. It's a fascinating idea and it's a fascinating concept to kind of explore
Mhm.
with immigrants.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we had the chance to
And
chat about it.
like, and also like, especially like growing up in New York, where like I can only speak from my experience. Growing up in New York City, it's like you're around hip hop, rap, basket. It is like the street
Mhm.
where that's the culture. And so, like, again, just imagine the Hong Kong Chinese kid, and it's like I'm trying to fit in, so I'm
Yeah,
wearing like the
yeah,
baggy jeans and the jerseys and the
yeah. But then you're
sneakers.
going home to a
Oh,
different
they're like
environment. Yeah,
they don't understand it. They're like,
yeah,
okay, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
But like that's the kind of culture that you kind of like
Sure.
mold
Right.
within. Mhm.
No, it's fascinating. So you just talked a little bit about how your parents, it's like very academic, very safe kind of path that you're
Mhm.
supposed to take. So that leads me directly into you ending up in finance. So
Yeah.
you graduate high school,
Yeah.
you end up in, college,
Mhm.
you end up taking what was your degree?
I ended up doing accounting.
Accounting. And then you end up in the finance world, like a
Yep. Oh,
traditional
yeah.
finance world.
Oh, yeah.
Your parents are probably beaming,
Oh, yeah.
happy, like, "Look at my son, he did what he was supposed to do."
Mhm.
How'd you feel about that? I mean, were you doing it to appease your parents, or
Yeah.
you really felt like, "I
So
should do this, I wanna do this?"
yeah, so actually, the first degree I wanted to do was psychology.
Mhm,
I found the subject very fascinating, and again, I think it's part of my background of I wanted to fit in, I wanted to
mhm,
learn from people, so I think psychology was just such a fascinating subject.
mhm,
And so actually my first year, like you know, my concentration, I was trying to be a psychology major, but just from working part-time jobs as a college student, I met other working professionals in real estate office, and they were saying like, "Oh yeah, I study psychology, and look where I ended up." And so for me, I was like, "Well, I don't want to pursue a degree that didn't guarantee me a job." I think the whole point, like, it's just like thinking back of like, well, why am I going to college? I'm
mhm,
going to college because my parents did all this for me to come to America, like for this opportunity for a brighter future. And
mhm,
so I'm like, wait, I want to go to college to get a degree that I can get a job. Like that was the whole goal.
mhm,
It was not about interest. It was not about, like what we're into, the hobbies, nothing like that. So then next thing you know, I'm like, okay, well, business degree, accounting was like the higher, more difficult concentration within the business program. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna go for that because that's gonna guarantee me a higher chance of getting a job. And that
mhm.
was all my focus was, even though I hated it. It was so hard. It
Yeah.
was so hard for me.
Well, it
Um,
probably was even harder because that's not even, like, where your heart was. So it
yeah,
was like it was hard already, and then
yeah,
it
I'm not good
becomes
at
harder, right?
it.
So if you
um,
put me in a math room, it's not gonna
And
happen.
so I survived. I graduated and I was able to, thankfully get a job. I ended up working at Morgan Stanley and Barclays Bank in New York City.
Mhm,
And, Everybody knows Morgan Stanley. And so
Right.
like it was like I was equally proud of myself for just pushing through and just keep pushing myself. I think at that point my parents weren't like pushing me. It was just like they know what I'm doing. They
Mhm.
kind of trust that I know what's best for myself.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just like really cool for them to kind of thinking back now, they're flexing on other people. Like, hey, my son works at
Right,
Morgan
they can start yeah,
Stanley.
they can start bragging.
And also, I was the first to go to college in my family.
Well,
And so that was another thing of like, well, I'm the first to go to college. I should do something with it, like to really
mhm,
get a
mhm.
job. So like it was just all these things that like in a way the pressure pushed me to work in finance.
And then, yeah, the drum roll, you made a change.
Mhm.
And tell me about how that happened.
I was working in finance for like 5 years at this point.
Mhm.
But I've always loved photography. Like that was just kind of my interest, my hobby on the side. That's what I done on the weekend, just capturing moments in my life. And then just started to travel and again just taking a lot of pictures. I love sharing it on Facebook. And again, with my fashion background from high school, I was just always into fashion. But I think also growing up as an immigrant, that was another thing I kind of learned was that like you can speak the language, you can do the job, but the first impression, that's everything. And
True.
especially in the business world and learning again with the accounting background, the business background, first impression is everything. And especially when it comes to job interviews. So it's just kind of like taking all the things I learned. I was like, well, I want to dress for the job I want. I want to dress well. I want to present myself um, in this way, in this image.
Mhm,
And then with my interest in photography and traveling, that was at the time when Instagram was just starting up.
mhm,
And my girlfriend at the time, she was on the fashion blogs and Instagram. She's like, "Oh, look at what all these like bloggers are doing. Like,
mhm.
you should do it because you're like this is the things you love." And I remember like, there's already 10 men's bloggers in the whole country. There's too many.
Yeah. How can I compete?
But then I remember I was like, well, they're not Asian, so I have like a advantage or a different way to like fit in
Mhm,
and like I can present something different to the world.
mhm.
So that's how I like really got into it. And so I started posting on the blog. We had a website. We started posting on Instagram, and this was all side hustle too. Like this was like we were shooting content on the weekend, like
Mhm.
working out of a cafe in New York City. I was still working the 9 to 5 job at Barclays Bank, and just really side hustle, like shooting whenever we can, whenever we have time, editing. And then within that first year, we were networking at fashion events. I got to network with GQ.
Just because of putting all those pictures online and getting
hmm
exposure.
Yeah, it was just like it was just really the early days of fashion blogs and Instagram where brands were kind of learning about this at the same time. So when they see someone else who's putting content out there, they're
Mhm.
like, okay, well, we can like. So it was really like working with brands step by step, building over the years as well.
And what was born out of all this? Levitate style.
Yeah, so the blog is Levitate style, and
Uh-huh.
that's how we like started doing this. And then in that first year, we had an opportunity to quit our jobs and travel the world for 5 months.
That's amazing. And
And
that's all through this whole
it
platform
was
that you were
all just from
developing
social
and
media. Yeah.
wow.
And this is again early, like now at this time is like early, like 2015.
Wow.
And this was already around the time when I was like starting to like, should I quit my job? Like, should I give up my 6-figure job that I, all these
Yeah,
years
that you
work hard
work hard for,
for?
and also that you had this whole affinity to because of your parents and
Mhm.
because of your culture, because of your background.
Yeah. And it's like, well, I've grown comfortable with it. And it's like, and I think in the back of my mind, it's just like, what are the potentials? Like, what more can I do? Like, can I
Mhm.
try something else? And not to be like, is this my ceiling in corporate world? Like I didn't I saw what my next level, what my next jump would be in corporate world. I'm like, do I want to be a team leader and work more hours? I don't
Nah.
know. I don't know if I can do that. And again, at the same time, you're seeing like this digital marketing world that's like just starting to build out. And you're like, this is so exciting. What's next? What other brands can I work with? And like in the past in the months leading up to me quitting, we were already starting to get like pay campaigns. And I'm like, wow, if I did the math, like, would I rather leave my 6-figure job and just make 40K? Would I be happy with that? But I'll have freedom. It's my
Right.
passion. It's like, I think I'd be okay with that. And this is early years, right? So it's just like, maybe that's okay, to be more happy and excited for your job.
You're
Yeah.
ahead of your time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No one thought about that back
Now
then.
it's just a whole different
Yeah.
world. But yeah, that was around the time when that opportunity came where we got to work with a brand to travel the world for 5 months on a world cruise.
So that was your sign, honestly.
And we're like, yeah, I think this is once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
I can always find another finance job
Yeah.
after 5 months if need
Absolutely.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of listing. I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
We had like a few weeks to like pack up our things, sublease the apartment, and
Head off.
head off.
Wow.
And
And then when you came back,
uh-huh.
you just dived in 100% into Levitate style.
Yeah, we got to visit 50 cities in 26 countries.
Unbelievable.
When I told my parents at the time, they were like, "What? What do you? What? No, don't. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't quit your job." I'm like,
Yeah.
is traveling around the world. Like I can always find another job. And I think again, like over the years, they trust that like I'm doing what's best for myself, and I'm smart. Like I'm not just gonna quit my job
Right.
for nothing.
Right.
Like,
Immigrants especially have this hustle in them.
mhm,
And when you surround yourself with that kind of people, it
mhm,
becomes like this, like this vibration, this thing that happens that
yeah,
causes things like Levitate style to develop and grow out of a culture
mhm,
that it wasn't supposed to happen.
right,
Right?
yeah,
It wasn't supposed to happen. I want to talk a little bit about the challenges you've had as an Asian
mhm,
in fashion.
mhm,
You mentioned that there wasn't a lot of Asians in the fashion industry that you
mhm,
could look to in the beginning.
yeah.
And now, and how do you use and how did you use Levitate style to kind of help the Asian community or, you know, support the Asian community in
Mhm.
the world of fashion and business?
Yeah. Over time, my passion was in fashion and photography and all these things, but I found my purpose in Asian representation. That was really like the main reason I wanted to start this because I didn't see Asian guys like me
Right.
growing up.
Right.
Like you go on Google search before, you looked at men's fashion, men's suits, something like you just won't see someone like me.
Mhm.
And so like part of my purpose was like, if you even just looked up fashion, now you see me, like I've done my job.
Right.
And so early on, that was the struggle that like I felt like brands weren't ready for that. But then over time, brands were more and more open to it. And even then, like over the years, I felt like I was always kind of the elephant in the room. So even the events I go to,
Well,
for years, I was the only Asian guy around. Like I would literally walk in, I'm look around, I'm like, okay. I'm also very thankful too because half the time it was also the marketing or the PR rep on the other side of that table that they were Asian and they felt like we needed to be more
representative.
inclusive
Yeah.
and represented in that way. So like half the time, I'm like, well, I'm so thankful that you didn't end up in the traditional career path and you worked in marketing
Mhm.
that because it doesn't just happen from the outside, it also has to happen within
Mhm.
in self, like change has to happen within. And so like it's both ways. Like
Right.
we need someone on the other side fighting our battles and fighting for us too, for me to be in that room.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times it's both ways. It's not just like, oh, I just showed up, I'm the only one. But yeah, over time it's been better and better. And again, just like getting to work on so many different campaigns, like over the years, I was also has become like the token Asian. Like, let's say they hire 10 influencers for this one campaign project, I might be that one. And that happens to other minorities too. Like, it has to start with
Exactly.
one,
Exactly.
even if it's token, even if it's that's the minority pick, right? Like, it's like
Yeah.
but that's how we break through the door, at least get in
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
And then over time, I think what was really cool is certain brands they were more open to celebrating Chinese holidays. And so like Chinese New Year, Mid Autumn Festival, like the mooncake, things like that. Like growing up as an immigrant, we didn't have those school holidays. And so
Yeah.
it was so quickly forgotten that like, oh, well, we don't celebrate in America. So like we don't have to celebrate in America. And it's like as a kid, you're like,
What
but
happened?
that's my culture. That's
Yeah, what
our
happened to
tradition.
those
Those are our
holidays?
holidays.
Yeah.
But then working with brands, it's cool over the years that they're like, well, we would love for you to post about Chinese New Year. And then I've gotten to work with my mom. I got to work with my brother, my dad in those campaigns, and to like, it's cool to work with my family in that
Mhm,
way. And
mhm.
again, like sharing Chinese New Year to the world, because there's definitely people that are like, "Oh, I don't know what that is.
Absolutely.
And they don't know what that looks like. So it's cool to not just only work with the brands, but also celebrate my culture and my
And
holidays.
educate people
Yeah.
about Chinese culture, about history, about
Yeah.
celebrations. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You have a partner that you've
Hmm.
had for many, many years, and I know she works with you in your business,
Yeah.
the 2 of you. She's not Chinese.
Nope.
She was born here.
Yeah.
And where was she born?
She was born in Buffalo, New York.
Okay. A real American girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, how did that feel to you,
Hmm.
one?
Hmm.
And how did you guys meet? And then how was it, more importantly, how is it when you brought her home to your parents? Was there
Mm.
any kind of interest and how does she communicate with your parents? Because she doesn't speak Chinese, does
No, she
she? Yeah.
doesn't. So we actually met in college.
Mhm.
We have mutual friends. I feel like it's such a typical college thing where we had typical friends. We have mutual friends, and it was like, hey, like, do you guys would do you want to invite her to a party? And I was like, oh, like she looks very cute, and like we got to talking, and we just clicked instantly.
Yeah.
But what's funny is too is like we're actually very different. Like
Well,
not
that's why it probably
obviously.
works because opposites definitely
Yeah,
attract.
but I think again, it's just like as a sponge and just learning and appreciating different cultures and different backgrounds. Like
Mhm.
we just love and appreciate each other's background. Like there's
Mhm.
no it wasn't anything like for me it was just like it was just so cool to like learn from her American experience.
Mhm.
And so like for example, like for me, like I didn't grow up with American Christmas and Thanksgiving, like all the American holidays. It was like, yeah, it was there. Like I celebrated, but it was like to the best of I don't know what my friends were doing at the time.
Mhm.
But like it was really cool to like learn about American culture through her because it was like for like first time it was like
It was the real
Christmas, you
deal.
wake up Christmas 7 a.m. and there was like gifts everywhere. And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
it's like the real deal. Like it's like
Yeah,
TV.
it was just like so cool, and I think like it just, and then same thing with Thanksgiving, like the full on Thanksgiving and all the things. It's just, and maybe from the outside, it's just like, oh yeah, it's gifts and it's food, but it's like it's just like it's the appreciation. It's like the importance of these holidays of bringing everyone together, and like we always travel back to visit her family for these holidays, and that's
Mhm.
actually another good thing. For like interracial multicultural relationships that like we don't have to fight over the holidays.
It's true.
Like there's no
True.
there's no like, oh, my mom for Christmas, your dad for Thanksgiving. No, it's like we're good. Like
Yeah.
because like there's no clash at all. So
Yeah.
I think that's always such a fun part.
What blows my mind also with immigrants is that it's not that they don't wanna do Thanksgiving or
Hmm.
4th of July or other things, it's that it's almost like, how? Like, we wanna do it, we feel American, we're here, but it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know how to do it, like, how do I cook the turkey? Like, it's
Right.
like
Oh,
it's just a
thanks.
weird
Yeah.
thing that it's very hard to, like it's like almost like you're faking it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
they feel
different.
like they're the imposter syndrome, it's like,
Uh-huh.
I'm an imposter syndrome, even though feel American, I love this country, I wanna be here, I wanna
Right.
celebrate Thanksgiving, I feel like an imposter. Like,
Yeah.
how do I make the Thanksgiving turkey and
Yeah.
the stuffing
I
and
remember like the Thanksgiving was like all Filipino food.
yeah,
I
which is
maybe there's some
that's
turkey.
their Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but it's just like, yeah, I think it's just like their way of
Yeah, but
celebrating
it's
with
funny
what they
until
can
you go
bring
to
to
an
the table.
American,
Oh
like a
yeah.
true American, you never really feel
Oh,
it.
now I love it. Like
Yeah.
I love it. Like I'm like, I want the turkey, I want the stuffing, I want all of that because it's like that's the one time of the year you can get
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah,
just
it's fun.
it's
It's
special.
fun.
It is
Yeah,
special.
it's fun.
But yeah, with my girlfriend, over time, my parents love her. So
Mhm,
I think over time they also try to speak as much English as possible
mhm,
when we're like hanging around,
mhm.
we're at the dinner table. But to the point where I'm like, Dad, what are you trying to say? Just say it in Chinese and I'll translate because this is taking too long.
You gotta
But
be patient.
but then she has also picked up so much Chinese over
Really.
time. She's also just like she loves school and so she loves languages. So like she just she's on Duolingo. She's learning French and Spanish and
Oh, amazing.
Russian and like she actually learned Chinese as a minor in college. But it
Oh,
was like Mandarin Chinese compared to Cantonese Chinese. But she just loves like picking it up because like she hear us talking and she just picks up like what we're saying all the time.
yeah.
To the point where like she can she understands like pretty basic things that we talk about now.
We kind of talked about this, but
Mhm.
do you feel a responsibility to the Asian community and the immigrant community that's
Mhm.
Asian? Do you feel this deep-seated like responsibility to make sure that you represent, especially because you're out in the public, you're out in the,
Mhm.
in social media, you feel like this deep sense of responsibility to them to act a certain way, to present yourself a certain way
Mhm.
because you feel like you are a representation of the community itself?
Yeah, I think especially early on and now still too. Because like I'm putting myself out there, right? Like on social media and also in person. And there's many times where I'm like, what if I'm the first Asian you ever met?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of stereotypes you've had about Asians in the past, what kind of negative connotations you've had. But like, what if I'm truly the first one you had a real interaction with?
Right.
Like, how I present myself might mean a lot.
Right.
And that could change your perception of what Asians or immigrants are like, right? And so I have that in the back of my mind. And I feel like that's what I've grown to understand over time from doing this the past 10 years.
And that's what this show's all about.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, it's about enjoying the conversation with immigrants from
Hmm.
all over the world,
Yeah.
but also learning and
Yeah.
understanding and having first impressions. Sometimes people don't know anything about someone from Hong Kong. They don't
Right.
even know, like I've never even met anyone from Hong Kong. We don't even know what language they speak. You
Yeah.
never know, who's watching and who would
Exactly.
use this as an experience to learn and to have their eyes open of like, wow, he's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
All right, Leo. So now it's time to move on to something that is way more important than all this conversation, which
Okay.
is food.
All right.
I love food.
Okay.
So we're going to now shift over and we're going to actually have me taste some Chinese cuisine that I've
Amazing.
never had, believe it or not.
Woo. Awesome.
So this looks amazing. What do we have here, Leo?
Okay, so we have some of the classic items from dim sum.
Okay.
And dim sum is like a traditional Chinese brunch.
So it's the meal name. Like
Yeah,
we're going
dim
for
sum.
dim sum.
Yeah, dim sum.
Okay.
Yeah. We have some of the classics. So this one here is like a shrimp dumpling, and this is called ha gao.
Ha gao.
And then this is the pork bun. This is cha siu bao. So like roast pork bun.
I'm not saying that one.
So the roast there's roast pork filling on the inside of the bun.
Okay.
But the bun is actually kind of like a brioche bun style.
Okay. But there's meat inside.
The meat is inside.
Okay.
That's the filling. And then we have I think the infamous dim sum item, the chicken feet.
The chicken feet.
In Chinese it's called feng zao.
Feng zao.
And it's actually like phoenix claw.
Oh, wow. But
we
that looks
to
like a
get
pretty big
fancy
chicken
with the
foot.
name.
I don't think chicken feet are usually that big, are they?
I don't know. I don't really look at normal size chicken
I hang out-
compare.
Not that I hang out with chickens very often, but it looks kind of like a very large chicken.
Seems
But they are chickens.
normal to me.
They're chickens, right?
Yeah,
Not like
I think so.
some other breed. Okay, so how do we eat? Let's start with this. with
Okay,
the dip.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you do it
a
the
big eater. I just
You do
go
it the
for
right
it.
way because I'm doing it the wrong
Mm.
way. Is it good? It's good.
That's pretty good, actually.
That's good. I like that.
Mm.
I like that a lot. Okay, now
Actually, that's
we're
actually
gonna
really
leave the
good.
chicken feet for the end.
I gotta know where they got it from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's local, so we'll give you the info. But for you to say it's good, it must be.
Yeah,
good,
I like
huh?
that. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so this one.
This is the pork bun. This one you can actually even find in bakeries sometimes. Yeah, this one I
Oh,
can.
it looks delicious.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is nice and soft and so much.
Here, let's show the people watching on
inside
YouTube can actually see
in the
how yummy it
filling,
looks
too.
inside.
Yeah. So this is roast pork.
And what else is in here? It looks like vegetables, like
No, it's just.
peppers,
Oh yeah, there's
onions.
I think this is mostly just meat, maybe a little bit of carrots or something.
Mm.
But yeah, this is good.
Ooh, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I love it too? Because it's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's sweet with the pork inside, so it's like a salty sweet
A
kind
little
of.
sweet.
Ooh, I
sweet
like that a
salty.
lot. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just keep eating this. I'm gonna avoid the chicken.
Yeah, these are great. These are also usually at like a bunch of like Chinese style bakeries around.
This is very good.
Yeah, it's like a good like grab and go for like a quick meal or just like a breakfast item. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Leo, and we have our chicken feet. So and by the way, I don't know why, I've actually been to China,
Oh wow.
And I spent quite amount of time in China. Not
Yeah.
a lot, but like a few weeks. And I didn't have any of these things. Can you believe it?
Oh, okay. So you know
I
what?
was in mainland China. I was in Beijing and
Gotcha. This is
Guangzhou.
much more a Hong Kong
Okay, that's probably why.
style
Because I didn't have any of
cuisine.
this. I
Yeah.
had duck and
Okay.
a lot of other
I
things,
see.
and a lot of fish,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
but
fish.
not any of this.
And I think that's also like what's cool about the Asian culture and Chinese culture is just like in America,
Mhm.
you have different food in different regions. Like you have, in the East, you have your lobster rolls and pizza, and and then you go to the South, you have fried chicken. Like it's just
Yeah.
different regions, different food, and same thing in
So this
in
is dim
China.
sum you really do in Hong Kong.
Yeah, mostly in Hong
Not in
Kong.
mainland China. Like you
More
would in.
more the more the Cantonese Chinese cuisine. Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense because I was like, why did I not? I was
Right.
there for like 2-3 weeks and I never.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, tell me how to eat the chicken feet.
Okay, so you gotta understand, I grew up with this.
I know.
I don't even remember the first time I had it. It was just like, as a kid, you're like, just eat it. So for me,
So try to take me back to the 3-year-old.
for me, I
Leo.
like, because a lot of it is just you're kind of eating whatever's kind of like the skin and the meat on it,
Uh-huh.
and you spit out the bones.
Okay.
For me, there's not a step-by-step process. So just
So I'll watch you. Go ahead.
okay, for me, like I just go right in. I just
Okay, I can do that.
yeah.
It's hard. It's good. It doesn't taste like chicken though. Why does it not taste like chicken?
You just spit out the bone. You kind of just eat around. Don't think about it that way. Just eat around whatever you can
It
bite
feels
into.
very fatty.
Yeah, it's mostly like skin and cartilage. Yeah. It doesn't taste like chicken because they obviously have mastered the chicken feet and marinated the heck out of it.
It's pretty good.
hmm
I'm impressed.
They made the chicken feet edible. That's impressive.
Well, as my son says, because he hates chicken, period.
Uh-huh.
He goes, just try to make it edible. Any piece of the chicken.
Mhm.
But this is good. But
Yeah.
it's not fried. It's kind of breaded with.
Oh no, they season it. There's even like that's actually like black bean.
Oh,
It's like a
wow.
different kind of black bean. They season it. I don't know how they marinate it, but it's kind of steamed, like a fried
it's
steam
like a steam,
situation.
yeah.
Mhm.
And how else do they serve it? They serve it in different ways, like, or is this usually the
It's
traditional
usually
way?
this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, it's kind of fatty. It feels like the
Mhm.
drumstick meat.
Oh,
more
yeah,
than
okay.
like a breast of chicken.
Right.
But it's good.
Yeah,
Excellent. Thank you
Good.
so much for
this is
explaining.
great.
Now I can go to and I can eat
You've
it.
had
with-
dim sum
actu-
now.
and also I know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
You never want to go to the restaurants and without somebody who really knows what they're doing because you feel like.
Now you can go and you're like, I know that.
Yeah.
I want
Well, at least
that.
I know 3 things.
Exactly.
And these come in many different. The dumplings come in with shrimp. What else?
Oh well, for dim sum, it's traditionally with shrimp.
Oh, it is.
But then the fun part about dim sum is very much like tapas. Like they usually come in 3 to 4 pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really meant like you get it and you share it with the table.
And it's supposed to be eaten with chopsticks.
Yeah, chopsticks, and even I get lazy sometimes. I use a fork.
You can't eat it with your hands.
Typically, no.
Okay. Right. Just
It's
checking. Just checking.
It's not quite finger party
Finger
food.
foods. Okay, got it. Well, thank you, Leo. This was delicious, and thank you for
Thank you.
educating me on my ignorance of dim sum. But now I know, and now a lot of people out there also know.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
This is
you.
so much fun.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Interviews with Immigrants, where we celebrate the positive side of immigration in the United States. A huge thank you to Leo Chan for sharing his incredible journey. From queens to catwalks and accounting spreadsheets to global storytelling, his bold pivot, his creative vision, and his commitment to representation remind us that the immigrant experience isn't just about overcoming. It's about reimagining what's possible. If you're feeling inspired, be sure to check out Leo's work at levitatestyle.com and follow him on Instagram and YouTube. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to rate, review, and share this episode. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. I'm your host, Andrea Szew, and remember, behind every immigration story is a human story. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Interviews with Immigrants.